Back again with another fast API video. In the last video we were able to, I guess we stopped over here. Basically we had overridden our getDB function so that it uses override getDB, which routes to our test database, and for the time being I used the raw path, which is I guess not that cool because you'd want this to be dynamic, obviously, because this won't work on anyone's else computer unless they have the same path, which is highly unrealistic. So now the thing is, here the last video we stopped over here because this thing was not working. What I mean by that is, like, okay, let me just show you. If I just do this, yeah, okay, and okay, so we yield the test client. This actually works. So if I actually fast API dev app main, if I run that, this and okay, let me just turn on the API client. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, so I've turned on my Postman client, which will allow me to interact with my local host. So the server is on. Let's try to get all posts. So incident we so yeah, dev, yeah, well, that works great. So also I thought of reading this, but this does work. Let's do py test. Actually, we don't want to run all the tests because they will fail. Py test app, sorry, py test um test users, and this will fail. Interesting. Yeah, so yeah, okay, that's one of the issues we were facing, where the given email ID was already in use, and the way to solve this as of now is to app test.tb, because it's using test.tb, and we just do these starting things, which I think there's a way of making it permanent, but I don't know yet. So I will just say delete from users. Okay, if I run the test again, it will pass. Now the thing is, I don't want to keep doing this, going into my database and doing it. So the tutorial said that we can yield it, and then we can, so after the, so before this we can clear it. So even let's say there was some visual data, it will clear it, even though we would only want to clear after we returned it, but that is just for the first time use. And then you pretty much delete from users, or just delete from all the tables, so to speak, so it clears it. And I tried doing it using SQL connection, which depends on the override getDB function over here. And let's see what the issue is as of now. You wouldn't actually want to do this at the moment. You would just want to do something like, um, I mean, okay, and we wouldn't have to close the connection because it's okay. And wait a minute. If I actually just, if I run this, the thing is, there'll be an issue. Yeah, so depends has no attribute cursor. Okay. Also, the reason why you're not able to hear this is because I have in OBS just muted this, because I guess no one wants to hear it. Um, interesting. You wouldn't necessarily want to do this, because this entails you. I mean, you wouldn't like to do that, right? I mean, this does solve the problem, but the way this is arranged is, I mean, doesn't really matter. But does this work though? Oh my god. I don't know. Testing is. I mean, hmm. So I guess a more dumb approach would be to be like connection is equal to override, right? And we can say to get the connection, because then, I mean, it doesn't really matter for per se. We could do this afterwards. As well, I could say connection dot cursor. What's the issue? I. How did the post use this? I don't know, man. This is now getting into the needs of it. Connection is equal to cursor. Um, I'm assuming this is not how you want to do this, but override. This wouldn't work, right? Because this would be cannot access attribute for class connection generator. Um, okay, let's do. Okay, can I do gun is equal to override? Is this gonna work or not? If I run PyTest now, okay. Um, then based on that, can I do something like gun dot cursor, because that's the only way I can find. Again, doesn't work. Is it saying key? Okay, wait a minute. If this runs, then maybe that gives me a sliver of hope that this might work. Generator object has no cursor. There's no attribute cursor. it's not a big deal. We have to somehow find a way so that after this test is completed, we are able to make sure कि we basically clear our database in a sense. And the best way to do that would be over here, but I mean, what's okay? Wait, I'm gonna do something that's very awkward. I'll do con is equal to SQLite 3 dot. I'm not ready to get into that complexity yet. Um, I also wanna ठीक है, I mean, that is not something that is relevant, but and then I can have cursor is equal to con dot cursor, and I can say cursor dot executes delete from users, and then I can con dot, this would be our small script that would run after the, does this work though? So for this to mimic, I'll reach it from users, and we can see the user, and we'll run this. Okay, I can run this again if it has worked properly. Okay, so it works great. So this is the Juga, so to speak. um Jugaad means like I guess the English word for it, like workaround. Yeah, workaround, that makes sense. Like a hack, something that, I mean, there's nothing wrong about this. um but yeah, what's the second change we made? Test.tv. Yeah, yes. Okay, actually, if I remember, git log, my latest log was something added test db error in test. This was yesterday. Okay. Git status, I think I've added all of them. Git commit. um, it's a long commit message. It's a long commit message. Okay. I know what the error is. And it's coming from get latest post. That's weird. Do we don't have a latest post? I mean, we anyways have to write that error. We do have a latest post, so I mean, it's good we have to write this test anyhow, and the test is not okay. And how why we do a model validate, and that's the reason why. Okay, so we are just blindly just whatever the JSON returns, we're trying to validate it, knowing very well key one of the branches it can take is very well just raising an HTTP exception. I don't even want to search because this is like Pydantic Fast API byte is so many things. While testing Fast API applications and serves Pydantic handles that's because HTTP exception is a valid exception to be raised. So it's not like this is out of the ordinary. This is what the code is supposed to do. Um, okay. So again, why is this? Uh, um, I could do something like that. What's the issue? Okay. I guess over here. Um, you know what's better? Just like print me it so I can see what's happening. If I do PyTest, PyTest test, um, test post, and I do test post, and I do with the S flag so I can see what's coming down. It pass. Um, if so, again over here the status code could be in 200 or 404. Yeah. So let's run this. This should assert the test and six validation errors. Okay, so this does print the error. Um, there was a topic which he said where okay, um, because that is the only out you can get. Either you can get this or this. So it would be better if we just do that. Okay. Um, 200 and 404. Um, there could be a case where I could use test latest post when there's no post to see if there's an error, the HTTP exception. Oh no. Now I think I can just run PyTest without having to worry about the specifics. Yeah, it runs. One more thing we do have to worry is again over here we do use the fixtures. We need to use it over here as well. Right, we need to use it. And one more thing that I get is get posts. Right, so this gets posts, but if you actually go to get all posts, I mean it returns an empty post to begin with. I'm just worrying if, like, let's just say I come. Okay, okay, works. I guess that's great. Just create user. I, to be very much honest, I don't know how yield works. I might have to learn that. I can't just pretend knowing it, right? It'll cause issues. Okay, that's interesting. Again, I don't know why I would need that because okay, so we have this, but I'm exclusively thinking of this as just being used to do this. But now that you say that I can create a fixture, in my mind, what I'm thinking, I mean, it won't replace much, but it will replace at least this. I don't know how to do this. Interesting. So, pretty much what ChatGPT says is that's what he's doing. He's saying, okay, def, we just create this. Why are we closing this? Because we are anyways running db.close. Actually, I don't want to do this because I am anyways very weak at what this is. I don't understand why we are closing this because we are anyhow closing it over there. So kind of weird. I do agree that is much cleaner. To be honest, it wouldn't take much long for me to actually implement this. I have to just create a new, like I could do this. It would be something like pytest.fixture. But again, it's just, I don't know, I'm not that comfortable yet. I mean, I could blindly just do it, but I kind of understand that. Right. This is the only one. Maybe it's in hindsight a wrong decision. I don't know, maybe I should not let them. This is work. I don't think this is gonna work, but it looks so. I'm so tempted to just uh just go into the CI/CD, to be very much frank, or maybe just do Docker, I guess, because I started learning Docker, but then I mean, what would you do with learning Docker unless you have a project that you want to containerize, right? You have a project you want to containerize and then learn Docker, I guess. I think this is what I want to do next. Because the reason why I say that is, yeah, so we're creating a user, right? But yeah, and also one thing I want to, let's say, create a post, but I can't create it because I need the JWT token for it. So how do I? The thing is, that spinning in circles. Interesting. Yeah, let's figure. Yeah, I mean that's what I wanted to do this, but it would be only using sign up, and I didn't know login how to get the token and do it. So yes, the way I think he's gonna do this, he will just return. When you could do something like of order, um because wait, what is this thing? um yeah, you can take a user sign up, and I don't know if this is overkill, but you can do user sign up, and you can go email equal to, and I'm gonna use basically test user at gmail.com, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and then I can take something like a test user, and I could say test user. Does this work? I'm not sure because I think I could do something like that. I mean, I'll only after running the test I'll get to know. So I don't know. Okay, it seems like it's working. So this just does that. Um, I'm a bit skeptical, so I will. I mean, because after this runs, I can do app test, and this actually clears it, so I can't really tell anything. But I could do something like test user dot email test user dot okay, and then I can run this with the s command so and see what's happening. Oh yeah, so here it works. And then that this thing essentially uh after this function is done, it pretty much runs this. That the way I understand how yield works is after the client's purpose is done, this piece of code runs um, as a teardown. So that is interesting. Okay. This is such a clickbait, by the way. Okay, I was thinking maybe we could. Okay, that's like overkill. I'm not gonna say. The reason why I do that, in this sense, is what if koi by mistakenly put something over here. Using our Pydantic model, just make sure that data is validated before even if it goes for a test. Um, Also, I hope by the next video we are doing something else apart from tests, because I can't be writing tests all day, bro. It takes away your life. Um, okay, before this thing gets over, we can do whatever we want before this. Unfortunately, this happens. Okay, to login. This is what test login user. Okay. Um, but the thing with this is it outs. Sorry, response model is a token, which is again I should not have done this because now I'm like token kya hai type thing. So again I can do something like token, and over here I could again why am I not validating this? We would want to validate this, and I think the way I do this was like this. Yeah, validate. So I guess this would be something like user out dot model. Was it like that? Yeah, it was like that. Too much. Model validate, and just unpack the JSON. Just put the JSON there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The JSON. Um. Now the JWT token dot model validate rest.json. Um. Again, this could have been much better if I said in to this or founded 9. Okay. Um. Okay. What was the issue? This is JWT token and 403 or 200. Okay. I think this should work. 200, yeah, 403. Yeah, this should, hopefully this works. Because now I'm doing model validate, which is much better. Let's see. If it runs successfully in the first try, it would be very interesting. It does not. Amazing. Um, it does not exist. Yes, you're right. Um, that is true. It does not exist. Um, yeah, this does not exist. The reason for this not working is because in order for user to, it has to be created, but before, after that is done, that test is done. Just so, um, can I do something like test create user, and I don't know, it's very dumb. It's like the dumbest thing you can do. You can put a test inside a test. Um, yeah, it fails. Preferably, what you would want this to be is some way that it creates the user. Again, he says drop all, then create all. Where's the test user? Weird. I'm not. There's no wonder people don't like writing tests. It's like so much work. Yeah, this is cool. I can work with this. I'm assuming in some way that yeah. So again, they had to take the authorized client. So I'm assuming they're just yeah. I mean, for me, the issue that I am dealing with is the way our database client is set up. The client essentially returns the connection object. Um, it's not returning a connection object. It's basically deleting a database while after yielding it. And the reason why we did this is because whenever we tested this, the email existed in the database. We had to manually delete it. So that's why we fixed it. But now the issue comes over here. How do I make this thing exist in the database first? I could always just create um, a new instance of it, but I guess that'd be very sloppy. Um, yeah, I guess we have to find a better way. Yeah, guys, I think that's it from me. Again, I have another day spent writing tests. Can't believe it, yet. I wonder how if any is anyone doing property-based testing for backend. That would be fun to see. So, thank you guys for tuning in for another late night coding session. See you till then.